Okay guys, I decided to come outside today and film because I got my new microphone and it's nice outside, and oh, my dog just got out of the pool and splashed me. Anyways, and she likes to be outside, so I thought I'd come outside. So today our lesson is on a big review. We're just going to review everything that we've done pretty much, and that way we can start new stuff. So first thing I want to do is just please remind you, please watch the video before you take the quizzes. All right, so we're going to start off with adding and subtracting decimals. Don't worry if that sounds really easy. I'm going to go all the way through the geometry stuff. So really quick things to remember: when you're adding decimals, you always line your decimals up, same with subtracting. And when you come across a number that doesn't have a decimal, the decimal always goes behind. So that 3 didn't have a decimal. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 dots. I've got a 3 here, 4.5, and 0.003. Now it's up to you. If you want, you can add zeros. I really need to bleach this chair. It's got so much mold on it. You can add zeros if you want, like that, or you can leave it without the zeros. Totally up to you when you're adding. And then I just say 3, 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0, 5 plus 0 plus 0 is 5, and 3 plus 4 is 7, and that's my answer. When I'm subtracting, I need to do the same thing as far as lining the decimals up. Same thing as far as a number without a decimal. The decimal goes behind. However, there is one big difference when I'm subtracting. Here it was optional if you put the zeros. When you're subtracting, it's mandatory. You have to put the zeros, because if you don't, people will forget they need to borrow. So I'm going to come over here, make that a 1, a 9, and a 10. This becomes 5, 2, and then 11 minus 2 is 9, so 9.25. Okay, if you had any trouble with that, rewind, go back, look at it, or you can go back and look at our old video on adding and subtracting decimals. So that's Bentley. She keeps walking by wondering what I'm doing. Multiplying decimals. When you multiply, you don't line your decimals up, you line your back numbers up. So I'm going to do this problem 2 ways. I'm going to do it the hard way and the easy way. The hard way is I would write this. The 4 and the 5 need to be on top of each other. I'm multiplying. 5 times 4 is 20, carry my 2. 5 times 0 is 0 plus 2. Done with the 5, so I put a 0 with the line through it. That's the way I was taught. 1 times 4 is 4. Done with the 1, done with the 5, 2 zeros with lines through it. 3 times 4 is 12. Add it up, and I get 1,260, but wait, I have to put a decimal, so I count how many numbers I go around to get to the decimal from the back. So I went around 1 number, 2 numbers, 3 numbers, so 3 numbers there. I went around 1 number, 2 numbers here, so 3 plus 2 is 5, so I need to go around 1 number, 2 numbers, 3 numbers, 4 numbers, 5, put a decimal, and that's my answer. Nothing wrong with that, but you sure would work a lot harder. Remember, in multiplication, you are allowed to flip the order. So I could put the 315 on top, as long as the 4 and 5 are on top of each other, and put this on the bottom. 4 times 5 is 20, carry my 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. 3 times 4 is 12. Now I'm ready to count. 1 number, 2 numbers, 3 numbers, 4 numbers, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Add a 0. Same answer, just a whole lot more work over here, and a chance to make a mistake over here with these zeros. What if I forgot one? Oops, sorry. Also, that 0 is not needed. It would be more proper for me to write the answer like this. Oops, I forgot a 0, didn't I? Yeah. Oh, let's start over on that. It would be more proper for me to write it like this. There you go. All right, so that's all we're going to do on reviewing decimals. Now let's start reviewing. Oh, before we do review, I put this in here. Okay, some people out there are taking the quizzes. not watching the videos, and then asking me, please help me, I don't understand why I keep getting these questions wrong. So here's the key word. I'm hoping you're taking notes anyways. Make sure you write this down. My oldest son's name is Trent. That is going to be one of the questions in the quiz. If you didn't watch the video, you won't know the answer. If you watch the video, you'll know that it is Trent. All right, here we go. Circumference of a circle. Just a quick reminder, since this is review day, circumference is around the outside. It's the measurement around the outside. I can use either one of these formulas. If I know radius, which remember is halfway from the center to the outside, half of the diameter. If I know the radius, I'd use this one. If I don't know the radius, I would use this one. If I know the diameter. So I do know the diameter. So I'm going to use 3.14 times 12, because that's my diameter. And when I do that, I get 37.68. And so my answer would be 37.68 centimeters. Okay, now area is the surface. It's a different formula. It's pi, which remember we always use 3.14 for pi, r squared. So I don't have the choice of using radius or diameter like I do here. I have to use radius. So if I'm given the diameter, first thing I have to do is cut that in half. Half of 12 is 6. So I now know that my radius is 6. So I'm going to go back and use this formula. 3.14 times my radius, 6, and I need to do it twice, 6 times 6. Well, when I do that in my nice handy dandy calculator, I get this. Now remember, area questions are always squared. So I would say square centimeters. Now, by the way, that is one of the ways the GED will ask you a question. They will not draw a picture. They'll just say, hey, what is the square centimeters of a circle with a diameter of 12? They didn't say what's the perimeter. They didn't say what's the area. Oh, my dog doesn't like this math assignment. They didn't say what's the perimeter. They didn't say what's the area. They just wanted you to say what's the square centimeters. So you have to understand when you see the word square, oh, hey, that's an area question. So this is key to remember that. All right. Now let's review volume of a cylinder. If you notice, volume of a cylinder, the formula is pi r squared. Hopefully you're taking notes on this. You're going to need it for the quiz. Pi r squared is the first part. The first part of it is area. Area of a circle is pi r squared. First part of volume of a cylinder is pi r squared. So you know how to do this. Number one, remember we have to get half, because in this case we were given the diameter and we always need the radius for this. So my radius is 6. So I have 3.14 times 6 twice, and this time I'm going to add one more thing in there. I'm going to times it by 14. Well, we just did this on the other page. We got 113.04, and now we're just timesing by 14. When I put that in the calculator, this is what I get. Now with volume, my answer is always cubic. So in this case, I'd say cubic centimeters. By the way, there's another example of a GED question. They might say, what is the cubic centimeters of this cylinder? You have to understand, oh, that's a volume question. So be looking for those key words. All right, this one stumped a lot of you when we did this the first time. So let's go back and look at this. This says, what is the distance around the racetrack? So that means they want to know this outside measurement, which is perimeter, but it's also circumference, because if you look, I've got a part here, right here, and a part here. Together, not that my drawings are very good, it makes a circle. So hopefully what you're seeing is, if you cut it here and you cut it here and take these two pieces, you have this circle. That's my circumference of the circle. I'll get that measurement in a minute. Then I have to see, and I need some better colors here. I don't know if this yellow will show up. I'm not sure. that from here to here and here to here I have to also include in the measurement because I want to know how much around. Well, from here to here is 7. From here to here is 7. So 7 plus 7 is 14. So from here to here and here to here, that's the 14. Now to get these ends of the racetrack, I'm going to use my circumference formula. Remember, that's either 2 pi r or pi diameter. Well, since I'm told from here to here is 6, from here to here is 6, that's using the diameter. So I'm going to say 3.14 times 6. And I don't think I did the work on that down at the bottom of my page, so let me get my handy dandy calculator out and say 3.14 times 6. I get 18.84. But be careful, that's not my answer. Remember, I had this 14 for that. This is only, the 1884 is only for the circle. So I got to come back and add that 14. And I'm lining my decimals up. And I get 32.84. We'll say feet. I don't think I put something on here. So we'll say feet. Now, I know I'm talking really fast. Remember, you've got a pause button. You don't have that in the classroom. You've got a rewind button. You can do it over and over again until you make sure you understand it. Now, let's take that same racetrack. Terrible drawing on my part. We learned that we were cutting it here. From here to here is 7 and here to here is 7. And we learned this is 6. Now let's find the area. Okay, this is different. We're going to take that circle, this half and this half, and we're going to find out what the area of the circle is. Well, remember, area of the circle is pi r squared. So I have the diameter as 6. So I know right away I got to cut that in half and make that 3. So I'm going to be saying the area is 3.14 times 3 times 3, or quicker would be 3.14 times 9. And when I do that, I'm just making sure I have my math done right at the bottom. Yes, it's 28.26, but be careful, that's not the answer. That's only part of the answer. Remember, I still have to get the area of this rectangle. Remember, a formula for area of a rectangle is length times width. So I need to say 7 times 6. 7 times 6 is 42, and I need to take it and add it over here. So, well, let's see. If I just add that right here, I get 26, I get 10, and I get 70.26. So don't forget that step too. All right, that one you may want to review again. Feel free to. All right, this one, I thought, let me do all the questions in one. So we've got this situation that John made a rectangular sandbox for his son. It is 4 feet wide by 6 feet long, and it is 2 feet deep. Notice there's no pictures. That's right, the GD is not going to be kind to you and give you pictures. So it tells me it's a rectangular shape, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make my own picture. It says that it's 4 feet wide by 6 feet long, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to ignore this part right here for a minute because I know perimeter is add all the way around. So I need to just say, well, if this is 6, then this is 6. If this is 4, then this is 4. 6 plus 4 is 10. 6 plus 4 is 10. So my area is 20 feet. My perimeter. Oh boy, sorry about that. My perimeter is 20 feet. Now, same rectangular shape, same numbers. Area is length times width. So I need to say 6 times 4 is 24. Remember, area is always square, so it's 24 square feet. The last one is where we need to use this, how deep is it? So we're going to find out the volume. Remember, volume is length times width times height. So I'm going to say 6 times 4, and it's 2 feet deep, which is telling you how high it is. And so when I do that, I say 6 times 4 is 24, times 2 is 48. And remember, volume is always cubic, so it's 48 cubic feet. All right, remember, anytime you've got a question, you can stop, rewind, and look at it again. Okay, here, quick question on angles. What is the measure of the unknown angle of the triangle? Okay, so first thing you have to do is be able to see that in this is a triangle. We're told that this is 90 degrees. This is 25. Well, we have to know that all three angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So this plus whatever this is needs to equal 180. So the easiest way to do this is take the two numbers we know. We know 90 and 25. So 90 plus 25 gives me 115. And now I take my total 180 and subtract 115. When I do that, I get 65 degrees. So I just figured out that this missing measurement is 65 degrees. What if I wanted to check myself? What if I thought, that doesn't sound right? Well, remember, this angle plus this angle plus this angle should equal 180. So I can come over here, write the three measurements, add them up, and see what I get. I get 10, that's 18, that's 180. I'm in good shape. All right, so last part of our review. I didn't put Pythagorean theorem in here because I feel like we just did it, so I don't need to review it. Hopefully it's very fresh in your mind. Okay, look at this. It says angle C right here of this parallelogram measure is 70 degrees. And it wants to know, what is angle D? Well, one thing we remember is all four angles of a parallelogram add up to 360 degrees. So I know this plus this plus this plus this equals 360. These two are equal angles. They're the acute angles. This one's 70 and this one's 70. So the big question is, what is that? Well, I can take what I know, just like we did with our triangle. I know 70 and I know 70. I can add them up. That gives me 140. And then I can take the 140 and subtract it from 360. When I do that, I get 220, but that is not the answer. That is what B and D are together. So I need to take that 220 and I need to divide it by 2. And I get 110. So this angle is 110, and this angle right here, which is the one that we were in question about, is 110 degrees. So I now know the answer to this question, 110 degrees. Once again, if I wanted to check myself, just like we did with the triangles, I could say 110 plus 110 plus 70 plus 70, add it up, and they should equal 360. Okay, so that's my review for today. Go back, review any sections you didn't understand. There are separate videos back in the history of, you can find them in Teams, or you can text me and say you want to watch one of the old videos, and I'll send you the link on each one of these. And make sure you take the quiz. And thank you for continuing to work with us. I know that this isn't what you signed up for. It's not what I signed up for either. But I'm starting to embrace it. That's why I decided to come outside and film out here. I'm by my pool that looks like it could use a little sprucing up out here. But anyways, please stay strong. Please keep working. Call me if you're frustrated. I'll be glad to walk you through things. Talk to you soon. Bye.